Myself, G. Mahesh Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry. Today's my topic is about the classification of natural resources. What are the topics that we are going to cover today? Is resources that are present on the earth. Okay, there are many resources like water resources, wind, solar energy, crude oil, animal resources, land resources, natural gas, uh, precious metals and minerals, rocks, forest resources. Okay, topics today we are going to discuss is resources that are present on the earth. Why natural resources are important? Why the natural resources are important? And what are the components of biosphere? And the present status of natural resources in India. These are the topics today we are going to discuss in this. Okay, resources on the earth. Why natural resources are important? Components of biosphere and present status of natural resources in India. These are the topics. Okay, what are the resources that are present on the earth? There are water resources, wind power resources, and crude oil. Next, animal resources, land resources, natural gas, mineral and rocks, forest resources. All these are comes under the resources that are present on the earth. Now, how the resources has been classified? Classification of resources. Resources means anything that is available in the nature is nothing but resource. Resource is nothing but anything that is available is called resource. Anything that is available is called resource. Here the resources has been classified into uh, natural and human resources. What are the natural resources? Again, the natural resources has been classified into uh, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. What are the renewable resources? Renewable is nothing but resources which are uh, which can be regenerated. Resources which are regenerated regenerated is called renewable renewable resources. Resources which are easily regenerated is called renewable resources, and non-renewable is nothing but just opposite of renewable is non-renewable, which cannot be regenerated. Here non-renewable is nothing but which cannot be which resources which cannot be regenerated is called non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources. Okay, here the resources has been classified into renewable, natural, and human. Humans coming to the human here, structure and institution, quantity and quality. It depends upon the quality and quantity. Renewable has been again classified into the continuous or flow, and again renewable. There are biological resources. In the biological resources, one is natural vegetation, and next one is wildlife. Coming to the non-renewable resources, here the non-renewable, it is a recyclable and non-recyclable resources. Recyclable resources and non-recyclable resources. Structure and institution, in the human, it has been classified into structure and institution, quantity and quality. Quantity and quality. Here the resources is nothing but anything that is available in the nature. Anything that is available in the nature is called as natural resources. Here natural resources and human resources. Natural resources are renewable, non-renewable, and the human structure and the institutions and quantity and quality. Here renewable are continuous or flow biological. Again in the biological there are natural vegetation and the wildlife. Next, coming to the non-renewable, recyclable, non-recyclable resources. Here in the human, it is a structure and institution, quantity and quality. This is how the classification of resources has been taken place. Now coming to the how the based on the different classifications are given for the resources. First one is on the basis of exhaustibility. Okay, on the basis of exhaustibility, it is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Okay, basis on the exhausting, how the resources are exhausted on the earth, it has been classified into the renewable resources and non-renewable resources based on the origin. Okay, from there it is exist. This resources has been classified into the biotic. Biotic is nothing but the living resources. Living resources, and abiotic is nothing but non-living resources. Non-living resources based on the ownership. Based on the ownership, again it has been classified into the individual resources, community resources, national resources, international resources. This is a classification of resources based on the exhaustibility, based on the origin, and based on the ownership. Okay, based on the exhaustibility, it has been classified into the renewable resources. Renewable is nothing but the resources which are easily regenerated is called as renewable resources, and the non-renewable is nothing but which are regenerated is nothing but resources which cannot be regenerated is called as non-renewable resources. Based on the origin, it is a biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic is nothing but living resources. Abiotic is nothing but non-living resources. Based on the ownership, it has been classified into the individual resources, community resources, national resources, and international resources. Now coming to the classification, comparison of renewable and non-renewable resources. Okay, here non-renewable, another name is exhaustible. Exhaustible are non-renewable resources. Inexhaustible are renewable resources. What actually the definition of non-renewable resources? Okay, the natural resources which are limited and which get reduced in quantity after the use is called as exhaustible. Okay, resources which are available in the less quantity and upon using it gets quantity has been reduced is called as exhaustible or non-renewable resources, and inexhaustible or renewable resources are nothing but the resources which are available in plenty in nature. Okay, which are available in more in nature, can be renewed again and again is called as inexhaustible or renewable resources. Coming to the examples of what is the uh, non-renewable examples. Non-renewable examples are the coal, petroleum, natural gas, and metals. Are the examples for the non-renewable. Means nothing but they are available in the limited quantity, and upon using its quantity get reduced is nothing but non-renewable resources, are nothing but exhaustible resources. And resources which are available in the more in number, plenty in nature, plenty in number, and can be renewed again and again is called as inexhaustible or renewable resources. Example for the renewable resources are air, water, sunlight. All these are the examples for the inexhaustible or renewable resources. Air, water, sunlight are the examples for the renewable resources. Okay, this is a comparison of non-renewable and renewable resources. Non-renewable is nothing but the which are available less in number, and upon using its quantity gets reduced is called as non-renewable resources, and inexhaustible or renewable means which is available in more in number, and it can be renewed and again is called as inexhaustible or inexhaustible resources are renewable resources. Coal, petrol, natural gas, and metals are the examples for the non-renewable resources. Air, water, sunlight is examples for the renewable resources. Now, what are the renewable resources? Okay, what actually does renewable resources? Renewable resource is a natural resource that can be used and replaced over a relatively short time. Okay, resources which are available replaced over a relative short time is called renewable resources. Although they are replaced when they have often used more quickly and then can be replaced. Example, if you take water, trees, they are available in plenty number. Renewable, it can be renewed. Renewable resource is a natural resource that can be used and replaced over a relatively short time. Although they can be replaced, often they are used more quickly than they can be replaced. Now, what are non-renewable resources? What are non-renewable resources? Okay, these are not earth resources which are not renewed. Is nothing but non-renewable. Not all the earth resources are renewable. Coming to the non-renewable resource is a natural resource can be replaced or that can be replaced only over a few thousands or millions of years is called non-renewable resources. Earth only have certain amount of non-renewable resources at any given time. Okay, example for the non-renewable resources are oil, natural gas, coal. All these are the examples for the non-renewable resources. Oil, natural gas, and coal is the example for the non-renewable resources. What actually this is a non-renewable resources are energy resources, metal resources, non-metal resources. Coming to the examples for the energy resources, coal, oil, natural gas, etc. are the examples for the energy resources. Metal resources like iron, copper, aluminium, etc. are the examples for the metal resources. Non-metal resources like salt, clay, sand, etc. are the examples for the non-metal resources. Metal ores like cinnabar, ore of mercury, zinc sulfide, zinc, and many more are the examples of ores that are available for the examples of non-renewable resources. Like rare earth metals, elements like they are referred to rare earth oxides or lanthanides as usually a set of 17 lustrous silvery white softy heavy metals, rare earth metals. Petroleum is also comes under the non-renewable resources. Refers to the crude oil. Also, it is naturally occurring. It is yellow-black liquid found in geological forms. It is defined as a fuel. Energy, quantitative property that must be moved or transferred to any object to perform work or to be heat is nothing but energy. Okay, it is a quantitative property that can be moved or transferred to an object to perform work or to be heat. Okay, these are the some of the examples for the non-renewable resources: energy resources, metal resources, non-metal resources, metal ores, rare earth metals, petroleum, energy. All these are comes under the examples for the non-renewable resources. Non-renewable is nothing but the resources which cannot be regenerated within a given span of time is called as non-renewable resources. All these are the examples that comes under the non-renewable resources. Now, what are fossil fuels? What are fossil fuels? Now, energy resources are natural resources that humans use to generate energy. Most of the energy we can use comes from the fossil fuels. Most of the energy that we can use comes from the fossil fuels. A fossil fuel is a non-renewable energy resource formed from the this non-renewable fossil fuel is a comes under non-renewable energy resource from the this can be we are going to get from the plants and animals that lived a long ago. Okay, we are going to extract the fossil fuels from the plants and animals, dead and decaying plants and animals that remains from the long time. Okay, when these fossil fuels are burned, they produce the energy. They produce energy. However, when the fossil fuels are burned, because they are non-renewable, they can be depleted. Once they are used up and gone, new supplies won't be available for the thousands or billions of years. Thousands or millions of years. This is about the what are the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are nothing but the non-renewable energy resources formed from the remains of plants and animals that lived a long ago. When these fossil fuels are burned, they produce the energy. That energy can be used for the supply available for the millions of years. Now, fossil fuels are arguably one of the most valuable natural resources in the modern times. These are the most available valuable natural resources that are available in the modern times. It is estimated that 86% of world's energy comes directly from burning the fossil fuels. 86% percentage of world's energy that directly comes from the burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are the source of energy for almost every machine, including the generators that produce electric energy. Okay, fossil fuels are the source of energy for almost every machine, including the generators that produce electric energy. Okay, this is about what are fossil fuels, because fossil fuels takes so long to form. They can be being consumed faster, and they can be reduced. Fossil fuels are the major contributor to air pollution because when they are burned, they release many dangerous gases such as NO2, nitrogen dioxide, methane, CH4, and carbon dioxide. Okay, these are the some of the examples for the major contributor to the air pollution by the fossil fuels. When they burn, they release the harmful or dangerous toxic gases like nitrogen dioxide, methane, carbon dioxide. Okay, because of this, it leads to the air pollution. Fossil fuels major contributor to the air pollution. This is one of the defect from the fossil fuels, which releases the dangerous gases such as nitrogen dioxide, methane, and carbon dioxide. Now, how the coal is formed. Okay, before the dinosaurs, many giant plants died in the swamps. Over millions of years, the plants were buried under water, and that this heat and pressure turned to the dead plant into the coal. This is the way how the coal is formed. Here, before the dinosaurs, many giant plants died in the swamps. Swamps is nothing but the 300 millions ago. The plants were dried inside the earth crust. Water 100 million years ago, dirt and over millions of years, the plants were buried under water and dirt. The rocks and dirt leads to the formation of coal. Okay, because of this pressure, heat and pressure turned into the dead plants into the coal. Dead plants into the coal. How the oil or natural gas is formed? How this oil or natural gas is formed? When tiny sea plants and animals died and when buried on the ocean floor. Okay, over a time they covered by layers of slit and sand. Okay, oceans 300 or 400 millions ago. Okay, these tiny sea plants and animals died, were buried on the ocean floor. Over a time, they are covered by the layers of slit and sand. Okay, over millions of years, the remains were buried deeper and deeper. The enormous heat and pressure turned into the oil, and the formation of gas and oil takes place over the years of 5 to 100 million years ago. This land and slit the remains are the deeper inside the deeper the enormous heat and pressure is applied to this sand and slit leads to the formation of oil and gas. Today we are drilled down through the layers of sand, slit and rock to reach the rock formation that contain the oil and gas deposits. Oil and gas deposits. This is the way how we are going to extract the oil and natural gas from the earth crust. Oil and natural gas from the earth crust. Now coming to the differences between the biotic and abiotic resources. Biotic and abiotic resources. Okay, biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic factors include the all living components present in the ecosystem. Abiotic refers to the non-living component. Examples for the biotic resources are flora and plants and animals. Examples for the abiotic is sunlight, water, air, humidity, pH, temperature. Non-living component is nothing but the abiotic resources. Dependence. Biotic resources depend on abiotic factors for the survival and the reproduction. Abiotic factors are completely independent of biotic factors. Origin, from where we are going to get this? Okay, here biotic components originate from the biosphere and originate from the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. Abiotic component are we are going to get from the originate from the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. Whereas biotic component we are going to get from the biosphere. This is a difference, a small difference between the biotic and abiotic resources. What are alternative resources? What are alternative resources? Most of our energy needs comes from the use of fossil fuels. Use of fossil fuels. The two main problems with the fossil fuels are availability is limited and obtaining and using the fossil fuels harms the environment. Okay, to continue to have energy but to reduce pollution, we must find alternative energy resource. What actually this alternative energy resource? Okay, here alternative like all things, each alternative energy has their problems and effects and defects. Okay, coming to nuclear energy. This is energy from the fission and fusion reactions. You are going to get the solar energy from the sun, and wind energy from the winds, and hydro uh, electricity, energy from the flow of water, and biomass, energy from the burning organic or living matter. Geothermal is energy from the earth, and these energy resources are inexhaustible, meaning they are constant and will not run out. These are some of the alternative energy resources like nuclear energy. This is a energy that we are going to get from the fusion and the fission reactions. Solar energy, the energy from the sun. Wind energy from the wind. Hydroelectricity is the energy from the flow of water. Biomass, energy from the burning organic and living matter. Geothermal, energy from the earth. These are nuclear energy, the reactions, the energy formed due to the fusion and fusion reaction. Solar energy, the energy you are going to get from the sunlight, and the energy from the wind is called as the wind energy. Hydroelectricity is the energy from the flow of water, and the energy from the burning organic and the living matter. You will get the biomass energy. Geothermal energy from the earth. We are going to extract the geothermal energy. These are the resources are inexhaustible, meaning they are constant and will not run out. All these are the some of the examples for the alternative resources. Most of our energy needs comes from the use of fossil fuels, but there are two main problems with these fossil fuels. One is availability is limited, and the obtaining and using the fossil fuels harms the environment. Okay, to continue to have the energy but to reduce population, we must find the alternative energy resources. The differences between the biotic and abiotic resources. Biotic is nothing but the living resources, and abiotic is nothing but the non-living resources. Biotic resources are the include all the living components present in the ecosystem, and the non-living component present in the ecosystem is nothing but abiotic resources. Examples for the biotic resources are the flora and fauna, and the abiotic factors include the sunlight, water, air, humidity, temperature, salinity, precipitation, altitude, types of soil, minerals, wind, dissolved oxygen, mineral nutrients present in the soil, air, water, etc. Biotic factor depend on the abiotic factors like for survival and reproduction. Abiotic factors completely independent of biotic factors. Biotic components are originate from the biosphere, whereas abiotic components are originate from the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. And this is about the alternative energy resources from the nuclear energy, solar energy, energy from the sun, wind energy from the wind, and hydroelectricity is from flow of water. We are going to generate the electricity that is called as electricity, and the energy from the biomass burning of organic and living matter gives the biomass energy. Geothermal energy from the earth, and these energy resources are inexhaustible, meaning they are constant and will not run out. Okay, this is about the what are some of the alternative energy resources. Okay, thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.